Evening everyone and welcome to Global Hub Racing F1 2018 F2 round 8 at the Mexican Grand Prix Live. I tried to take some of you by surprise there. I do apologise. But obviously you have seen that we have now changed our name here in the channel. It's now no longer GHR F1 Live. It's now Global Hub Racing. I think it's more professional ending up that way. And we've got 14 drivers here willing to provide some great action out on track. And of course, it is Mexico, so anything can happen. I'm James Z14. I'm going to be your solo commentator once again for F2 and indeed for the rest of the season by myself. And I'm joined in the commentary box at the moment by a couple of drivers. We've got Ball Boy, Rocco, Deneen, Mr. Meyer, and whoever else is here. I don't know who else is here.
Storm.
Storm's here. And somebody else is here, I'm pretty sure.
Me.
And somebody that's not wrestling is here as well.
That's
having
me here.
Evening to Felix, evening to Storm, evening to Bass. Hopefully everyone is keeping well tonight in the comment section. I'm going to get the stream link out. We will start at dead on 7. And we've got 14 drivers. There is no need tonight to invite any reserves in. We've got 14 drivers who I think are more than capable to provide some great action out on track. So no invites to be given to any reserves tonight. And that will be the case for pretty much every single race for the rest of the season. And more importantly, going on to F1 2019, because we want to have full grids, 20 drivers in each tier with tiered reserves. I think that's what everyone wants as part of Global Hub Racing moving forward, and that is part of our commitment to providing better for our drivers. And we've got 2 minutes to go, I do believe, until the start of this race. There is the link into the F2 chat, by the way, for everyone that might not be tuning in. You can tell my voice is bad again. I do apologise in advance if my voice is bad and if I have to go for a drink during this commentary. But let's have a look. No, but yeah, told we don't need thingy. Can we start at 7? I have just enough time to finish the rest then. Yeah, no reserves tonight. I've already clarified that at the start of the stream for people. The enemy is miles quicker than everyone else at Mexico.
Yeah.
He is.
Jompalainen. What about Jompalainen?
Jompalainen, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, he hasn't been attending the races and doesn't deserve a seat. That's how I put it bluntly. I don't think he deserves a drive.
Not a full-time seat, but
not a full-time seat. But if he had the time on a Thursday night to attend, he'd be there 100% of the time. He's been there, I would say, less than 20% of the time, which is quite dire from his perspective. So I'm not inviting him.
He hasn't
no way. He hasn't done a race. No, he really hasn't done a race.
It can be a reserve then in that case.
Yeah, but I've already said we're inviting no reserves in, and that does include Jompalainen.
Jompalainen and like an F2 reserve, even.
Well, yes, we may as well invite F3 reserves into F2 then, if you want to be like that. But it is nearly 7 o'clock here, and we will start on time, and I will issue that now. We can now start.
I love the Jompalainen racer.
Oh, well, he's a bit quick as well.
He's a bit quick for F2 as well. Jack the Weatherman. Hard stance,
now,
keep it going, James. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I want to show everyone that the photo sent by Glock into the F2 chat is fake, and I will not be capable of such times.
Glock, by the way, is saying in the comments that he is sick to death of reserves, and I think it is about time that we do something about it because it's gone on for far too long. It really has. What about me? I've been murdered by the internet in 2 out of the last 3 races. That's wizards.
What about me? I get murdered every day.
Connection looking bad. Don't worry, it will pick up. It is normally like this, my connection, when I start a stream nowadays. So don't be concerned about the connection. If we have to run this in 2 parts, then we will. If we have to run this in 5 parts, then I'd be very concerned.
Why would we discuss that?
Hypers might make half a lap. Just saying.
Everyone's still
Potentially.
loading in because I'm on the please wait at the minute.
Yeah, we're all waiting for Little Brookie, I think.
Little Brookie, gotta move on. I hope it's gonna. I hope nobody disconnects here, and I would issue an immediate restart to the lobby. To be honest, because it might cause lobby issues. There we go. All my names have appeared now. Fantastic. Good luck, everyone from a sunny Spain. That is old Stephen. Hopefully enjoying his holiday out there in Spain. Missing, of course, on F4 this Saturday. Who will take his place? Will T-Hawk get the championship lead from him? Who knows?
Ah, lovely. No rain, no rain.
No rain? Oh, I haven't even loaded in yet. Come on, you're just ruining things here. Goodness me.
I was...
Now we're loading in.
For sure, qualifying, it's dry and cloudy with average temperature for blah blah blah. But the race is really bright until 45 minutes plus.
No,
blah, blah, it's still dry.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to delay your pit now. We have to do this properly.
Nah. Just go on to the comms. Just go on to the comms. Trust me, yeah.
Dear. Alright, anyways, good luck, guys. Action about to unfold out on track to everyone. I was going to mute my own mic there, which was going to be fantastic. But there we go. Don't want to be doing that. Definitely not. But here we go. We are getting on-track action. Looks like the enemy is one of the first ones to come out of the pits. In fact, he is the first one to come out of the pits here in Mexico. Got 3 compound tyres available for the guys here tonight. We've got Hypers, Ultras and Supers are the 3 compound tyres for everyone here tonight. I'm going to get the championship standings up and tell you what the standings are like coming into tonight, with a 4-point gap between Deneen, our current championship leader after his win in Italy last time out, and Vienmi, who we're currently on board with, sitting in 2nd place on 111 points. Then there's a massive gap back down to Glock on 74 in 3rd. Bass in 4th on 62, then Silas in 5th on 61, Boltzmann in 6th on 52, Bullboy in 7th on 50, S-Boy in 8th on 37, Felix in 9th on 26, and Mads in 10th on 24. That is the top 10. Sauber leading Renault by 1 point on 128 points compared to 127 of Renault in the Constructors. McLaren in 3rd on 113. And I will come on to the rest of the constructor standings in a little while, because Vienmi is just preparing to start a lap here, coming out of the stadium section and ready to go down the straight. Can reach about 205, 210 mile an hour for sure running down the straight here, the Swede. Currently sitting in 2nd in the championship standings. Red Bull just coming out of the pits. There is Little Brookie getting out of the way, which is good to see. There's a McLaren behind him on track as well, which I think might be Boltzmann. But Vienmi on the set of Super Softs, not on the set of Ultras or Hypers even, as the tyre graphic shows, coming towards the end of the first sector now. Literally, first sector's not that difficult, reaching 200 miles an hour under the braking zone and a 27.8 first sector there for the Swedish driver. Really attacking the curbs here tonight as well. This track obviously can throw up a little bit of a shocker, especially through this S section, which really hits the camber of the cars hard. And if you catch a bit of oversteer, you're more than likely to spin through the S section, which is quite replicating to Maggots and Beckett at Silverstone, of course. But Vienmi now reaching the end of the middle sector. He reaches the end of the middle sector. 55.6. If you're sub 56, I think you're on for a very good lap round here in Mexico. So Vienmi now coming round into the stadium section, which used to be a baseball stadium for those of you who might be tuning in and don't know what this track actually is. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Vienmi now coming across the line. He's going to start us off with a 1:14.5. Very nice lap. Boltzmann out the final corner on the same tyre. Let's see what he can do. And he's miles off because he's invalidated his lap. Silas across the line goes 2nd. 1:14.7. Fresh from his 2nd place last night in Mini League. Just behind Lewis last night in Mini League 2. Mads coming across the line of set of 15.7. Felix, though, however, in 2nd with a 14.6. Just a 10th off Vienmi at this stage. Let's try on board with somebody that might not be up there with the pace. JB coming through the stadium section now. Looks a little way off the pace here. Let's see what he can do. Only a second separating, 1.2 seconds separating the whole field, the top 6 anyways, that I've set times at this stage. JB across the line. He's going to go up there and he goes 4th. First driver really to impact on a set of Hypersofts, goes 1200s quicker than Sealas there. Ballboy as well on the Hypersofts with 15 flat. As Denis, now a championship leader, goes quickest on a set of Ultras. 14.4 by the Irishman, our current championship leader, sets the mark. Busman 2000's down on his lap coming through the stadium section. Let's see what he can do. I'm not sure if he's going to invalidate this. He's missed the corner quite a lot there, missed the curve. Of course, Formula E also come round here. No Formula E, no electric cars around here tonight. There's a Renault coming in the pits, which is Vienmi. Busman comes across the line, the 14.9. So already 6 tenths per second, less than 6 tenths per second separating the top 9 out on track. Mr. Mayo obviously be improving on that lap. Rocco just coming out the final couple of corners now, going through the final corner. He's coming into the pits. Little Brookie invalidates, and Bass now at the final corner. Can Bass go quickest? Yes, he can. Oh, and he's put it to the sword there with a 13.8. So the Dutchman goes top ahead of Deneen, and NSX Wizards in third. So an NSX 134 at the minute. Livid Racing, of course, in second with Deneen. Good to see the NSX boys up there, and good to see Livid Racing representing the esports teams as well at the top here in Formula 2. Glock not improving there, might go for another lap. Let's see what Mr. Moy is getting on with. Let's see, he comes across the line. Improves ahead of Mads, 15.7 there for the Welshman. Hopefully his connection can hold up, unlike last night in Mini League where his connection once again failed. Similar to his teammate Nexus Nino. If you didn't catch up on Mini League, go and watch it on the TTTV channel, but don't watch it now, watch it later on, because you'll get to hear me and Alan Kay in the commentary box. And those of you who might be wondering when my next TTTV commentary is, it is actually going to be on Tuesday, next Tuesday. Likes of Lyronix and Bishy going round out on track. Little Brookie, however, coming around the final corner, comes across the line, goes fifth. That's a good lap on a set of hypers there for Little Brookie with a 14.6. And as you can see, 2 seconds separating the top 13 of the drivers who are out on track. Mr. Meyer has run out of fuel there. There's not many going to be going for a lap, it seems. Mads just improves ahead of Mr. Meyer with a 15.5. About nearly 3/10 improvement there from Mads. Indeed, we've got drivers now on outlaps. This is my first chance then to check on board with what you are saying in the commentary box. In the comment section, I should say, on YouTube. Let me have a look at what is going on in the comment section. Hopefully the connection is fine and the stream is fine as well. NSX shows how you race. Definitely, I have to agree with that. Vienmi Glock Deneen is a top 3 for Storm, him predicting that. And pole for F3 was a 13.1. Pole for F2 will be a 12.7. Well, we're on a 13.8 minute with Bass. I would imagine that all of these guys, well, most of these guys certainly will improve their times come the end of the session. But Bass at the minute with 13.8, better than everyone else. Little Brookie not on a lap, catching Vienmi quite hard. Trying to pressurise him into maybe a mistake through the final corner there, but the Swede once again. Currently second in the championship standings on 111 points, and he sets about on a set of ultras now to try and topple Bass off the top spot in qualifying. With about 8 minutes gone in qualifying, Bass, Deneen, Wizards your top 3 with Vienmi in 4th, and Little Brookie rounding off the top 5. Rocco, I think, is just starting a lap. He is, so we'll come on board with him after Vienmi. Reaching 200 miles an hour again, 27.8 to the first sector. Pretty similar first sector, I think, to what he set last time. Obviously, he'll try to find the time in this middle and final sector. The middle sector especially being quite dire for some of these guys, especially with the S section, the way the car really handles the corners. They've got to grip down onto the tarmac and try and really get the speed out of the corners. And Vienmi proving that to perfection there, coming across into the second sector split. 55 flat I had that as, so this is a quick lap here from Vienmi. Is it going to be as quick as Bass? We'll wait to find out. Rocco was also on a lap, of course, and we'll come to him. He'll be going in the background there, just in the background of the stadium section. Vienmi now around the final corner. Can he put it to Bass? Comes across the line. He goes top with a 13.7. Great lap by the Swede with halfway in qualifying done. Rocco comes across the line and he goes top now with a 13.7 on a set of Hypersofts. Ultra Soft for Vienmi and Hypersofts Bass filling out the top 3. We're right on board with Ballboy now coming around the baseball stadium section reaching the final corner now. Bullboy seeking to improve on a 15 flat, comes across the line. Yep, he does improve, 14.6. But comes to show how really tight it is. 1.2 seconds separating the top 12 out on track. Silas is just making his way down towards turn 1. We'll go on board with Boltzmann then in the middle sector. It looks like he's actually invalidated, so we'll go on board somebody else. Deneen is just starting up a lap. Go on board with Silas, actually. Let's go on board with Silas in the first sector. There's a yellow flag in sector 1 and sector 2. Not sure what that is for. We'll soon find out if there's anything wrong here in the middle sector. Hopefully there's been no spinners out on track, but Silas on a set of supers. I'll just flick on to Deneen, who I thought was ahead of him out on track. He's actually behind him. But Silas, the Dane, very impressive performance last night in Silverstone at Mini League 2. Just getting defeated off Lewis right at the end of the race. Silas now rounding in towards the stadium section. 55.5. Again, I had that out. So very nice middle sector. Now into the stadium section. Of course, at the end of 27 laps, we'll be seeing the confetti coming up from the baseball stadium and from the stadium section. See, that's now coming around the final corner. 14.7 currently is best. Improves 14.5. And you can see how tight it actually is. Silas going up to 6th there with 14.5 on a set of supers, and that is a very respectable lap on the softest compound of tyre that is available to these guys out on track tonight. I was just about to come on board with Deneen, but we may as well come on board with him now with a 13.3. I'm really putting it to the sword early on in this qualifying session, so very good stuff by the Irishman, the current championship leader. And it looks like it's a Sauber 1-2 actually at the minute, with Deneen and Rocco on the front row of the grid. Mr. Meyer improves up to 15.1, improves ahead of Matt. Boltzmann not improving, looks like he's getting plenty of invalidations. Let's see what Felix is doing. Currently sitting in 10th with a 14.6 sector, a 14.6 fastest lap at the minute. He's 7 thousandths behind Bullboy. I would imagine he will improve about 5, 6, 7 tenths maybe here. Felix now coming around the final corner. Let's see what he can do. Felix around the final corner. This is looking good. He goes 4th with a 13.8 and goes 2 thousandths quicker than Bass, his fellow compadre from NSX, and indeed from the same country as him. Of course, both of them being Dutch. Deneen not improving, but looks like he might be going for another lap there. JB coming through the stadium section now in the Force India. Let's see what he can do. Very nice tight lines into the apexes there. Really good out of that. 14.7. Just rubs against the wall on the outside. Might improve here. JB's just a little way off. 10th.5 off in the end. His personal best. Little Brookie coming through the S section. Looks like he might have invalidated this, but currently sitting in 6th with a good qualifying session. But keep an eye out if the guys are in behind. They're going to actually come out on the set of Hypersofts. And if they do, I would imagine that we'll see plenty of improvement. And look at the gap actually. Deneen down to Rocco was 4/10 of a second, just under. Then there's quite a cluster of cars there. Rocco down to Little Brookie is for about 2/10 of a second. And then there's another gap of 6/10 of a second to Wizard. So quite spread out in chunks, the guys. And obviously from Wizards down to JB is separated by 2/10, and then Jack Meyer and Mads lagging behind the rest at the moment in time. It looks like it is coming over a little bit cloudier now out on track. JB is improving. Oh, he's a 1800ths down coming through the stadium section now. But JB looking nice. Hits the apexes nicely once again. I think we'll ride on board with Boltzmann very soon, because he's on a lap and Bullboy just starting up a lap as well. JB's now coming into the pits, so we'll go off board with him. Boltzmann has run out of fuel. Bass through the middle sector. Let's see what he can do. Is Rocco ahead of him out on track? He is. So Rocco then coming through the S section, very similar to Maggott and Beckett. I think that's what the track organisers were trying to look at. Try and get some very nice corners on this track. Rocco 13.7 at the minute. Of course, if you run in ERS mode 4, you can get a little bit more straight line speed running down the straight. So that was I would definitely like to see more people running ERS mode 4, because it does gain you speed and it will gain you a quicker lap time in qualifying. Rocco comes into the pit, so Bassnen coming through the stadium section, about 10 seconds behind him. Bass now coming across towards the line, and he now comes into the pits with 3 minutes and 59 seconds to go. See Ballboy, what's he doing in the middle sector in the Ferrari? Double right-hander awaits. Looking very nice. 14.6, of course, is an improvement. He's opting to go for another set of Hypersofts. This looks like he might be wearing away the Hypersofts, and this is definitely not the strategy that some of the guys are probably imagining. Henry and Felix, the likes, going on the Ultras, and Silas and Glock currently on the Supers. Both of them are out on track and just starting laps. So Ballboy coming through the final sector now. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the action so far out on track. And Ballboy now around the final corner with a 14.6. Might opt to come into the pits. I think he is opting to come into the pits here. And yeah, he's going to opt to come in the pits quite safely there, and that's what we like to see. Silas then on a lap. The 14.5 in the minute. On a set of Ultras, so he should improve here. The purple wall tyre, of course. And for those who might be new to Formula 1, Hypersofts are the white wall tyre, Ultrasofts are the purple wall tyre, and Supersofts are the red wall tyre. So that's in case if you're very new to racing or tuning into the stream for the first time, I welcome you to Global Hub Racing. We should see improvements very soon from quite a few drivers out on track, I would imagine. Do excuse me in the meantime while I cough my intestines out. Sure, it's definitely not what you like to hear on stream. Deneen through the stadium section. Is he improving? Find out. Can the Irishman, the current championship leader with 2 minutes to go in the session, can he improve? 13.3 is his current best. Comes across the line, he's improving. Oh no, 13.4, about a tenth short of his current personal best. That would be him done, and I think that's going to be him dominating. Henry and Felix are waiting very late, come out of the track. In the meantime, Mr. Meyer has retired. Not sure if that was done out on track or in the pits. But Silas now coming round the S section. Looking nice. The Dane coming out of there very nicely indeed. 54, 55 flat. He's 3.5 tenths up, just over. Coming through the stadium section now. He should be improving, and he should be improving to around Little Brookie Bass area, I would imagine, with this lap. If he can really gain something at the final corner. Silas now on the run to the line. What can he do? The Dane coming across the line. Goes right in between Bass and Silas, and with the same lap as him, actually, goes into 6th. Glock only managing 8th on a set of Ultras with a 14.1. Henry and Felix looking like they're not going to be setting a lap. So Henry and Felix are pretty much out this session. Let's see who else is improving. Is JB on a lap? He is. JB now on a lap. Reaching the stadium section just through the second sector split. Looking quite nice. Coming out of the entry now into the stadium section. Again catching the curb, but that's what I mean. The kick of oversteer, just catching the curb. Don't want to run 2 wheels over the curb because you are going to spin it. Silas has retired. JB not improving, 400th short. He can get another lap in if needs be. Glock has pulled off to the side of the track. Little Brookie improving by a 10th here. Goes 3rd! Little Brookie goes 3rd with a 10.5 improvement. That's what I mean. How close it actually is in qualifying here in Mexico. Deneen out on top. Rocco was 2nd. He's now reaching the end of the middle sector. Not sure what it was like through the end of the middle sector. Let's see. Bass has just gone 2nd with 13.5. Very respectful lap there from Bass. But Rocco now reaching the stadium section. Reaching the final corner now. Let's see what he can do. Can he improve ahead of Bass? Can he improve even ahead of his teammate? Rocco coming across the line. Oh, he goes top! Rocco with a 13.2 betters his teammate Deneen and is a 10th of a second quicker. Rocco on top in this session so far. Any improvements being shown in behind? Boastman comes across the line and validates. It would have been a 13.4 and put him 3rd. JB and Mads. JB's off a lap, so Mads is the only one then that can try and impact on the result. Little Brookie also off on a lap as well. But Mads now reaching the stadium section. The final car to come around this section that is actually on a lap. Reaching through. Can Mads improve? He is going to improve quite a lot. 14.3 goes 9th ahead of Boastman, and that's a good qualifying session from him there. But Rocco is the one that has ended up on top, and it's a Sauber front row with Deneen in 2nd, Bass in 3rd, Little Brookie 4th, Henry and Felix rounding off the top 6. And of course we will run down as soon as Little Brookie and JB retire from the session, we will run down the full grid for you here in F2. And I'll keep on board with the comment section very soon. But anyways, let's have a look at the comment section here. Right in the middle of accident territory, had to brake mid S section, was on for 13.7, which is not ideal, and there's his AI car. No retiring on track, and a very good lap by Little Brookie indeed. But it is Rocco, a very shock qualifying session, I think, from him. We thought the enemy was going to be quickest. Well, he's just been bettered by 4 other drivers. Rocco on top then here from Deneen in second, Bass in third, Little Brookie fourth. They're all opting to go for a set of hypersofts for the start of this race. The enemy, Felix, Silas, Glock, Mads, Boltzmann all on a set of ultras. They're going to be qualifying on those. They're going to be running on those in the first stint of this race. Wizards, Bullboy, Jack Meyer, JB and Jack Meyer all will have free choice of their tyres. They have 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th respectively. So looking very good indeed. Slower than Toxic in F3. Just comes to show Toxic's lap was pretty special. And definitely special, and definitely one of those drivers that is definitely going places. And I'm saying definitely quite a lot because it's very true. But Felix, but Toxic, obviously very good driver in F3, and I honestly would love to see drivers, definitely. I would love to see drivers committing themselves to F1 2019. There's going to be a right overhaul of what we're going to be doing. I have been promising no assist and assist, and I think because it's such a divisive issue, we're not going to be pushing forward with no assist and assist for this season. We will try and opt to run no assist and assist for our second season on F1 2019. But, and of course, before I get into the stream commentating, obviously, we have put a driver feedback survey out on Discord for everyone to have a look at. If anybody does want the driver feedback in the comment section, I can easily put that. It is going to be a very good race, as Toxic has just put that. Thanks for that little speech, he says. You're very welcome. You're very welcome indeed. And apologies if I go a little bit quiet. I'm just replying to messages that pop up in Discord or on Twitter or anything else. But looking at the grid, Bullboy and Jack Meyer opting to go for super soft compound of tyre. Rocco obviously on top in hypersofts. Obviously the top 10 just qualifying on what they've already set their laps on. And Wizards and JB going on a set of ultras. I'm going to put a top 3 prediction down, and I am going to say that Deneen is going to win this race. I think the enemy is going to be second, and I think Felix is going to be third. That is my top 3 for this race, for sure. I think some of the NSX guys and the ultras put on some hypers. I think they would have seen 112s. For sure, I think they definitely would have seen 112s. They are playing on their strategy. I totally agree with that comment there, Toxic. And Rocco, mad lap mate, big race ahead though. And that is Jacko coming through. Of course, Jacko, an F3 driver. Jack Meyer, disqualified from the session. And is he leaving the session just before we begin? Hopefully that's not going to cause any problems for the race start. And he has been disqualified. There's his car on the grid. Hopefully it doesn't disappear or jump or anything like that, so it will cause chaos down to turn 1. Everyone now joining up on their grid positions, and we are going to be starting very shortly. Deneen will be one of the last ones to join up. He was pretty behind everyone else, but everyone filling into their grid positions, and we are about to go here then for lights out in 5. Red lights about to go out here in Mexico. for round 8 of the championship. Here in F2, it's lights out and away we go, and a better start by Deneen on the outside here. Deneen gets a much better start. Haas moving across Felix, trying to defend. Silas running down into turn 1. Let's see who's going to get out on top, and I think Deneen will have the run on Rocco. It's 3 wide as Bass is going to launch it down the inside as well. The enemy trying to see it around the outside as well. Everyone looking very clean into turn 1. That is good stuff. Deneen leading the way, Rocco around the outside of Bass. Jack Meyer leaves the session, which is such a shame. There's a Haas dropping down the field. That is mad. Not sure if he had an illegal overtake there. Rocco tries to dive it down the inside. Felix very late on the brakes. And Rocco trying to get past Bass. They're shoving each other off. They've got to remain clean here. Little Brookie gets contact a little bit there. Not sure if there was a bit of front wing flying from the Red Bull. But Deneen out in front, and the second lead has got the gap. He has got the gap out in front. Bass in second. They run through the S section then for the first time. Silas has jumped ahead of Felix further down the field. Up in the 6th place. That's Little Brookie going miles wide off into Narnia, possibly aiming for the American border there. But Deneen now running down into the stadium section for the first time. 36 laps. I may correct myself. I did say 27 earlier on, but 36 laps here of Mexican Grand Prix action, and Deneen leads the way, 1.2 seconds at the end of lap 1. Bass in second, holding up a bit of a train though. Rocco, Little Brookie, Vienmi and Silas file through in the top 6 positions. Felix, Glock, JP and Wizards filling out the top 10. Pretty much a very clean top 1, and now we're on board with Rocco, going down into turn 1, trying to get the move done down the inside on Bass. We see the camera cut away, and there's a brilliant move there by Rocco down the inside. Vienmi trying to get Little Brookie around the outside of turn 3. Little bit of contact, little bit of losing control of the car there. Silas is on the outside as well. They go side by side. Felix in the slipstream and Little Brookie in behind. Now Vienmi down the inside of Silas. They've got to try and hang on to this. Round the outside, Silas defending well. Little Brookie could get the run on both of them down the inside here. Very late on the brakes, forces Vienmi out. Glock and Felix now are going 2 by 2 in behind. It's like Noah's Ark formation as they run into the S section again for the second time. And Glock competes the move round the outside of Felix. That is a fantastic move there by Glock. Round the outside, a little bit of contact made, but still I think definitely worthwhile having a look at that. But Glock gets the position done very nicely indeed. Bullboy struggling at the back of this trend in 12th and Mads in 13th. 13 human drivers still going round out on track, which in the end of lap 2, Deneen 1.6 seconds out in front. 1.7 now, that gap is extending out. Rocco was second, Bass in third. Top 4 just beginning to spread eagle each other. Little Brookie and Vienmi are going to be quite close running down the straight. Of course, DRS enabled will come next lap. We've got 3 wide in the background between Wizards, JB and Bossman. Let's run on board with this. Bullboy as well. We could make a 4 wide into turn 1. Bossman down the inside now on Wizards. Wizards will commit around the outside though and gets the traction off the corner. Bullboy has got JB in the meantime in behind. Thrilling action already, and Vienmi has got past Little Brookie as well for 5th place, as Vienmi, current championship second, runs through the double right into the second sector, and everyone just looking very clean and getting on with their races, which is good to see. Probably one of the cleanest starts to a Global Hub Racing race I think I've seen all season. Deneen 1.5 seconds out in front. Rocco second, Bass in third. Silas, Vienmi, Little Brookie trying to keep him honest here in 6th. Getting closed down by Glock and Felix, and Wizards as well 1.5 seconds further back. We've got a little bit of side-by-side action. That's JB in the wall in the background. Not sure if there might have been contact there with Ballboy. Not sure what might have happened there. Came on board with that very late, so we'll try and get some sort of explanation about that later on. But the battle for second is hotting up. Bass taking a much deeper line through the corner. Rocco nearly running over into the pit lane briefly. Deneen leading 1.7 seconds, but this is looking quite vulnerable now for Rocco. We'll go on board with Bass. He's going to waltz past him down the straight, and he gets second easily down into turn 1. And Bass is up to second. Rocco very late on the brakes, trying to get the move done. Not quite. Glock and Little Brookie. Glock trying to go around the outside. He hangs around the outside. Little Brookie gives him room, and Glock is through to 6th place, and that is a fantastic move again by Glock. Felix now on the back of Little Brookie, who's going to be dropping down like flies at the minute, but he's just got to keep on going, keeping him in his rhythm. Felix not going to go for the move. Little Brookie, though, trying to launch it on Glock. Obviously got to keep it within the limits of the rules and regulations, of course. And Deneen still 1.6 seconds out in front at this stage. Bass in second, Rocco in third. We all simmer down now into their S's. On lap 4 out of 36, if you're just tuning in, Deneen leading 1.7 seconds now the gap. Pulling away through the S section. Bass in second, Rocco in third. Currently on board with a battle between Little Brookie and Felix. Felix is trying to eye up a move, I would say, down the straight. He could get both of them here, Glock and Little Brookie. He could get one of them now. Felix down the inside on Little Brookie, gives him space. Good to see. Little Brookie going to have to be forced offline, and Felix gets it around the outside, and that is good sportsmanship there. Good, clean and crisp driving between both of them, and Felix is up to 7th place ahead of Little Brookie, and Wizards now on the back end of this as well. Going down into turn 1 further up the field, Rocco was trying to close in on Bass. In the meantime, Wizards and Little Brookie's going to have to defend this inside line, but I'm afraid it's going to be quite unfortunate because he's going to have to get passed around the outside, and Wizards does indeed get passed around the outside. Little Brookie dropping down the field from his promising qualifying start. Bossman's got a 3-second time penalty. JB is into the pits to repair that front wing. There's the position changes early on. Wizards and Silas as Wizards tries to dive it down the inside of Felix. Just trying to eye up an opportunistic move there, I think. But on settling down into this race now. Deneen 1.3 seconds out in front. From Bass in second, Rocco in third. So run through the S section once again. Looking further down the field, Felix looks like he's trying to get on the back end of Glock just ahead of this. And Silas, in fact, is getting on the back of Rocco. So an interesting battle, possibly four-way battle for the lead developing. Deneen's starting to come back. Maybe those hypers are just feeling as if they're going off the cliff a little bit here. And it means that Deneen will be vulnerable to Bass, Rocco, and more importantly, I think, Silas on the side of Ultras. They come across the line now to start lap 6. We're right on board with Silas running down into turn 1. Look at the speed difference between him and Rocco. He's going to have plenty of speed. Down the inside goes Silas. He's going up for 3rd place here. The Dane down the inside. Rocco will give him room around the outside. He's trying to hang it actually around the outside. Having the inside line late on the brakes. Rocco. Silas back on the inside of turn 3. They force each other off. It's good racing though between both of them. Silas just hangs on to that position and gets the move done. Rocco now trying to get back at him. Vienmi in the background as well, catching. And a four-way battle for second develops, with Bass just starting to come back to these. Glock and Felix changing positions. We see the helicopter cam now. There is Wizards in the background as well. So to the NSX guys, Wizards tries to see it down the inside of Felix. Not quite. But at this moment in time, it is Deneen who leads. The second lead from Bass, Silas, Rocco, Vienmi. There is Vienmi. We see the beautiful helicopter shot. I'm not sure how long we've been in this helicopter shot, but quite nice indeed. Felix now down the inside of Glock, trying to get the move done. Commits it, and do you know what? That is a terrific move. Down the inside into the stadium section. Glock will try and hang around the outside of him, but Felix, he saw that one coming, I think, did Glock. Rocco was coming into the pits early, those hypers wearing for him. Possibly a set of supers and then ultras, I think. So two-stop strategy, I would imagine, for Rocco. We see now Glock. Silas has got past Bass for position, but we see Glock now going for 5th, getting the move done. Felix will jump into a slipstream, and it's job done for Glock, who's up to 5th place. Felix very late on the brakes. Glocky just braking a little bit early there. Bossman has been overtaken by Bullboy, who's making his way up through the field on a set of supers. He's up to 8th place. Rocco, by the way, has got out ahead of Little Brookie quite comfortably in 11th place. Everything looking good in a four-way battle for lead. Now starting to come back, and it looks like Deneen is looking quite vulnerable now out in front. Silas on the set of Ultras. The Ultras, of course, now going to be operating at a much better temperature, and you can see how quick he's actually going through this X section. On board footage here with him. 2/10 off him. Silas, I think Deneen will have to jump it into the pits, because there's no way now that Deneen can hang on to these tyres. Silas dives it down the inside into the stadium section. That is a beautifully judged move there by the Dane. A really crisp move down the inside for Silas. Deneen surely has got to come in the pits. He's continuing on another lap. However, Bass in behind him has just came into the pits. Now dropping down the field. 5-second stop go as well for Bass coming into the pit lane. Deneen will try and have a go now at Silas down into turn 1. The closing speed, I don't think is not enough for the Irishman. And Silas will hang on to the lead going down into turn 1. Felix and Glock now running down into turn 1. We'll cut on board with Felix down the inside on Glock, gets the move done. And Felix is up to 4th once again on Glock, and the yo-yo effect beginning to happen there between both drivers, Felix and Glock. Quite an action-packed opening to this race. Hopefully everyone enjoying the action so far. Glock now down the inside on Felix once again. Commits it. Ooh, a little bit of a dodgy line there from Glock, if I've got to be honest. but keeps it just in behind Felix. Might get the run into the double right-hander. He does. He has the car up the inside. Traction off the outside corner, though. For Felix, he's going to have it down the inside into the S section and keeps the position and hangs on. Good driving between both of these drivers indeed, and it's fantastic to see Wizards and maybe even Bullboy getting onto the back of this as well. Wizards certainly on the back of this battle. The enemy catching Deneen. Are we going to see a pit stop now from Deneen? He is very vulnerable to the Swede in behind. This is for second place currently. Deneen not pitting. No, I think he was going to come into the pits and then he's thought second of it because, of course, Rocco came in last lap around. He's going to go for another lap, but it's going to make him lose a position because Vienmi easily passed him now down the inside. And we've got Silas. Is he slowing up out in front there? No, he's not. I thought there was just a brief connection issue there with Silas. Glock now down the inside on Felix, and he's going to get him back down the inside of turn 1. Felix tries to commit the move down the inside of him. Wizards picks up a 3-second time penalty in behind. A little bit of a contact moment by Felix, just carrying a little bit too much speed through the corner there. It's now going to give Wizards an opportunity down the inside of him, and I think Felix, Wizards launches from a mile back. Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. That was a 50-50 move, but I've got to say that was pulled off actually to perfection. Glock now would feel quite adjudged by the, I would say partly over-aggressive driving there by Wizards, but in the end, he's launched it down the inside. Danny ricked it down the inside of him, and it's actually a really beautiful move down the inside. Hopefully no front wing taken off, and it doesn't look like there was any front wing taken off there for Glock, which is good to see. Just a little bit over-aggressive, I think, from Wizards, but still, Glock proving that he is a responsible driver and just let him go and get on with things. But Wizards, in fact, could be holding up everyone. Jack Myers AI is about to get lapped by these lot as well. The enemy running down the straight trying to catch Silas in the meantime. Silas for CPI against Vienmi of NSX running down the straight. Deneen in third still continuing. Bossman is into the pits. Glock has got past Wizards now, who's quite vulnerable. And Felix will just stay in behind here. Glock now leading. Glock now in fourth. Ahead of Felix, I should say, and Wizards. And Bullboy's getting onto the back of this as well. Super Soft's now just beginning to come back into it. Wizards now going to have to be forced around the outside line here. Is he going to attempt it? Around the outside? Nope. Glock keeps the position just down the inside. He'll defend that inside line for death. Little bit of contact and a concertina there between Wizards and Felix. So it was a brief bit of contact. Wizards just trying to attack the back of Glock. In the meantime, though, battle for lead is beginning to hot up through the S section. 5/10 of a second. Silas leading Vienmi. 5/10 of a second. We'll go on board with the others just in behind. Wizards just having a brief oversteering moment. Just forces Felix to cut the corner slightly. Bullboy in behind will be waiting for an opportunistic move. Possibly. Felix launches it down the inside of Wizards. Just pushes them off track slightly. If I was him, I'd just give that position back maybe. I'm not sure. Just push them off track slightly. But good racing though from what we've seen. Bass has launched it down the inside on Mads. Not sure if there was a let through there by Mads. And also we've got Wizards into the pits. And Vienmi attacking Silas for the lead. Drives it down the inside. The Swede. Can he get the move done on his fellow Scandinavian? No, he can't. Silas hangs on. But Vienmi looking very racy in behind. The championship leader right on the back of Silas. Now they run down the straight into turn 4. The end of sector 1 now. Vienmi going to have to be forced around the outside line. Is he going to try and commit this around the outside line? He is. He's got the inside line now. Fantastic move by Vienmi if he can do this. A little pushing Silas a little way off track slightly. But Vienmi has got that move done, and the Swede, he had the car ahead before he pushed him off track. I wouldn't say he has to give up that position, but Vienmi is into P1. Brilliant move by the Swede, and utterly great racing so far from pretty much everyone out on track. Silas runs wide there, and maybe the tyres just getting affected with his outrun onto the marbles. See a three-way battle for third. JB retires from the race, the first retiree of this race. Deneen coming back into the clutches of Glock and Felix. And Deneen is trying to let this go. Oh, and what on earth is going on here? What on earth is going on here? There's a bit of a Constantine, a bit of a box effect going on. Deneen has got to come into the pits. I think he's got a puncture actually, has he? I think he might have a puncture coming into the pits. Not sure. He was definitely losing that back end, and I think it was a left rear puncture there for the car. Confirm that with him in the interviews, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw. But a bit of a box effect, and again Glock will feel quite hard to judge by to be honest, with that move. Deneen just, I think, over-racing once again, and bit of over-aggressive driving, if I've got to be honest, from Deneen. He shouldn't be trying to box Glock in, and he shouldn't be trying to let Felix through either. They should have to be racing for position and race for it cleanly and competitively, because if you can't race cleanly and competitively, going forward into the new era on Global Hub Racing on F1 2019, you will have no chance in this league, and I guarantee you that for sure. We have lost a car, by the way, which I think is JB's AI actually pulling off track. Little break in the action. Bullboy trying to get on the back of Glock. 1.2 seconds currently the gap between him and Felix. Bullboy 5 tenths off him, running down into the end of the second sector, and now coming into sector 3. The stadium section. Lap 12 out of 36. We're third of the way through here. And for those of you who have just tuned in, then you've missed quite a lot already in this race. The enemy leading 1.2 seconds. See, that's now losing the tyres, I think. Just over-racing those tyres slightly. Bullboy, though, is going to look quite racy here on Glock. If he can try and get in the slipstream and open his DRS, which he has done. 215 mile an hour, I would imagine, coming down the straight here. As we see them come through turns 2 and 3. Felix 7 tenths ahead of Glock. Both DRS in operation. But the enemy leading, 1.2 seconds. It's just spreading itself out all in behind. And hopefully this is not going to be me. Felix loses the back end there slightly. Glock could try a move. Bullboy hanging on in behind. And Bass, currently in the net lead of the race here, Bass actually. He's undercut pretty much everyone. And he's got to pit again, but he's going to opt, I think, for a set of supers to the end. That's what I would imagine him to do. If you see Glock, very racy on the back of Felix. Coming through into the stadium section. Bass right on the back of Bullboy. Goodness knows where he came from through the S section to get a good run down the inside. Bass just being a little bit over aggressive, forces Bullboy off. Bullboy having to cut the corner there. He's going to feel hard judged by that. And again, after giving Bass a little bit of a talking to last week, gotta say, maybe he hasn't learned his lesson. Glock leading though, Bass in second. They run down the straight. We've had Vienmi, Silas and Felix come into the pits as well. So everything is just going to be a bit mixed and muddled at the minute. Little Brookie's running a quite strong race there in 6th ahead of Silas. He's got out ahead. In fact, so Little Brookie undercutting Silas and indeed Wizards and indeed Deneen. So looking like a good result for Little Brookie. Bass tries to see it down the inside. Glock forced offline. I think there was a bit of a neck cord issue there, possibly, with the driving there. Not sure if there was a bit of a connection issue there for Glock. Almost looked like there was a bit of a tap on the back end. I'm not sure if Glock was actually letting him through. Hard to judge by that. But I think it was some sort of lag spike contact moment there coming through. Looking very racy. Glock trying to defend off Rocco, this is. Rocco trying to see around the outside. Both of them make contact. I switched to the enemy by mistake. Rocco's around the outside of him. Glock shouldn't be going around the outside, and Rocco, in fact, lets him back through, which I think might have been down to an illegal overtake there, actually. And Glock losing those tyres, he's going to be coming into the pits. Hopefully he might type just before this. 5 seconds stop go as well. Not going great guns for thinking. My fault, James, with Bullboy. Just made a little contact, causing myself to spin out. So that is what JB is saying in the comment section. And thank you very much there, JB, of course. Still a winner. Stein saying Bass is the best out there. Way too aggressive yet again, everyone. Yeah, that's what I've been saying pretty much as the get-going commentary so far. I think driving has been a bit over-aggressive. It's been clean for the most part, but it has been over-aggressive by a few. The race cannot be won at this stage. I'm sorry, but the race cannot be won at this stage. The race can only be won when you cross that line, that 36 out of 36. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't really be league racing. And I've got to say that as a bit of an honesty moment. Because if you are really expecting a bit of an easy time in GHR and F1 2019, you've got another thing coming. Because we are going to be eradicating the drivers that are dirty, over-aggressive, have poor racecraft, they'll be gone. They will be gone. So just to point out what we're going to be doing about that, and I will come on to more about that at the end. Rocco now coming past Bullboy. Still very close out on track between quite a few guys. Felix is on the back of Deneen for 8th and 9th. This is currently, I think, for net 6th. So Felix trying to eye up Deneen and goes waltzing past him down the inside. So Felix has got that move done. Tries to defend it. He's defending the inside on as if he's no one's there. But Felix gets the move done and he's past Deneen. And he's up into 8th place currently, but that is for net 6th out on track. But Bass currently leading, 4 seconds out in front. Rocco has got past Bullboy just then running down the straight. With the enemy sitting in behind in 4th at the minute. Silas in 5th. Saber getting slightly wide there as Deneen in the background. See the helicopter shot? There's nothing much really going on, so if you do want to get in contact about anything in what's happened in this race so far, then please do so. Put it in the YouTube comment section right now. Something to speak about anyways before we get the next battle, which it looks like it will be Felix on the back of Wizards, and it's looking like it's going to be sooner rather than later. Little Brookie might just have to pit very soon because those ultras are not going to be going for too much longer, to be honest. The Hypers can make 10 laps with Deneen. I think the ultras can only make 13, 14 laps at the minute. Running down the straight, are we going to see any moves here? 6th place. Little Brookie. Wizards closing in. Not sure if he picked up DRS, or if he's got a DRS failure. No, he didn't pick up DRS. Wizards not picking up DRS, which is a shame, but Felix right on the back of him. Is it going to be a double toe out of turn 3 for Felix? Little Brookie looking very vulnerable here from the both of them. Both NXX guys right all over the back of him. Little Brookie, Felix is going to dive it down the inside. He's going to try and get it 3 wide into the corner. Little Brookie backs off quite wisely. Wizards now coming through and defending the position. Felix trying to hang it around the outside. It's good, clean racing between these. Little Brookie. Oh, Felix just turning him and squishing him on the inside there. Not sure. I didn't think he used his wing mirrors, to be honest, properly there. Felix might just feel hard judged by that. I would say Little Brookie has felt hard judged by that, and he's been affected clearly by that. He's now down to 9th. I think he should just pit and come home in 12th. And try and go for a set of supers to the end of this race. We see Felix trying to go around the outside of Wizards into the stadium section. Not quite. I gave you a little touch cookie, but I just braked slightly too late, says JB. Hopefully that clarifies that up as we see Vienmi waltzing past Bullboy, who looks like he could be going for one-stop strategy there. Boltzmann through past Little Brookie. Little Brookie indeed pitting. Felix now running. Oh, judges it to perfection. I thought there was going to be contact there. Wizards trying to come back down the inside of him, but Felix waltzes off into the distance and gets up to 6th place out on track, which is currently net 5th because Bullboy's still got a pit, of course. Up 18 out of 36, we are halfway through here in Mexico, and it's Bass who leads by 5.1 seconds from Rocco. Vienmi in 3rd, 1.7 seconds behind. And in terms of the championship standings, it'll be Vienmi that is going to jump ahead of Deneen as it stands out on track. It will be Vienmi leading the championship by, if I do my maths right, it will be by 7 points for Vienmi. 7 points for Vienmi. Felix with the fastest lap, so will be 7 points to gap. Bullboy getting overtaken by Silas down the inside into the stadium section. Lovely move there by Silas on the much fresher super soft compound of tyre. Will be trying to go to the end on those tyres. The guys in front will have to pit again. Bass and Rocco are, I would say, out of position at this stage. Running down the straight, Rocco was looking very vulnerable here. Looking very vulnerable. Look at the speed of Vienmi. Oh, he's just waltzed past him as if he was Eves Rossi the Jetman. Goodness me, Vienmi down the inside. He's up into that. I think now is the net lead because Bass obviously is going to be pitting again. Rocco obviously got to pit again. And Vienmi now closing in on Bass. We see Wizards and Deneen swapping places into turn 2 and 3. Good racing, and Deneen's got him around the outside. Deneen has Wizards around the outside in an utterly brilliant move from what we caught there. As Bass leads 5.1 seconds from Vienmi. Rocco now 1.1 seconds down. He's going to be coming into the clutches of Silas and possibly Felix and possibly these guys in behind if he's not careful and doesn't pit. Little Brookie 3-second time penalty. Super softs to the end for him. Deneen 3-second time penalty. Didn't really see anything wrong with that, to be honest. Oh, and Wizards has lost control of the corners, out the race. Wizards out of the race. Losing the back end in the background of the shot there. And Wizards now out of the race. And that's going to be him. Frustrated and quite annoyed with himself, I think, there. Rocco's into the pits from a set of ultras. That's going to be a set of supers for 16, 17 laps to the end of this race. Looking good at the minute. Not sure who is going on or what has been happening in IGP tonight. I will try and go on board with that in a little while and give you updated standings for those of you who might be thingy. Genoa, by the way, saying let's go Felix. All the best for all GHR drivers out on track. Rocco getting out behind Mads, not ideal for Rocco. Let's go on board with the leader then. Bass, 3.8 seconds out in front. And Vienmi in second. Bass just taking it nice and steadily, feathering the throttle through the S section. Losing those tyres, trying to keep a bit of heat into those tyres, but obviously they're going to be ebbing away now. So, not really Bass going to have his point of view here, really, because he's going to be going back through the field and he has to pit again. If he can get out ahead of Rocco here, that would be ideal. I think he'll respawn this lap to come into the pits. That's what I would imagine here. Bass, is he going to go for another lap? Yes, he is. Bass goes for another lap, so just ignore me there. I think he was actually thinking about coming in the pits slightly. Ballboy going through Mr. Meyer's AI. Not great stuff at all. Ballboy now getting close down by Felix, and Felix is looking very racy in behind. This will be for fourth place if he gets this move done. Ballboy's got DRS off Mr. Meyer's AI. Just tries to throw it out a little bit, but Felix now down the inside. Got the car alongside. 209 mile an hour under the braking zone, has got the move done. Ballboy gives the position up. Rocco, Mads running down the straight. Rocco's already got him down the straight. So Sauber up to 9th. Mads now down to 10th. And he should be aiming to try and get to the end on 25 lap old super softs. I'm not sure if that can work around this track. We'll find out in the due course of this race. Bass leading 2.6 seconds. That gap is reducing, of course. The super softs are going to be working at a much better temperature compared to Bass on the ultras at this stage. 2.6 seconds, the current gap out on track. And I do apologise in advance for any coughing that might take place. I'm just going to take a slight break from commentary and just let you listen to the engine noises for a second. Bass is coming into the pits though. We'll commentate on this on the set of ultras. Let's see what he's going to be doing. 5-second stop goal being served in the pit lane, it seems, for Bass. Now into pit box, and that's another set of ultras to the end. 5-second stop goal is going to cost him. Rocco's out the final corner, so be aware of this. Rocco out the final corner is going to get him quite easily, I think, running down the straight. Bass is just on the exit of the pit. There goes Rocco past him now. There we go, and Rocco's ahead of him. So Rocco ahead. Glock right on the back of Bossman, and Deneen right on the back of Ballboy as well. So no real let-up in the action that is going on out on track here tonight. No rest for me. No rest for the Weary. Tonight, Deneen tries to launch it down the inside on Ballboy, gives him the room. The Irishman trying to launch it around the outside, and he's got that move done. Just over-resting it a little bit going into the corner, if I've got to pick up on something there, but gets the move done, and he's through, and he is up now into a solid 4th place for Deneen, passing Ballboy there, with Glock now right on the back of Bossman. And Glock should get past him eventually, I'd imagine here. It's going to be quite vulnerable as well to the guys in front, Ballboy especially. Wizards has left the session. Such a shame that he's have to left the session in the circumstances, losing the back end through the S section, of course. And unfortunately for him, it was caught on stream, so it wasn't bad at all. Ballboy now relinquishes 5th place, and Glock on the back of Bossman running down the straight. DRS now in activation, and look at the closing speed of Glock. He's going to go past him, waltzing past him. He's up to 5th place. Bossman trying to get back in a slipstream here. Could try and launch it down the inside, not quite, but Glock passed. Bass passed on Rocco as well, so Bass is up to 7th, passing Rocco. Vienmi now 4.2 seconds out in front. Silas having a much better race of what I would have predicted in 2nd. Bossman braking very late on the back of Glock, just coming at the end of the first sector. It's 3.7 seconds the gap at this stage. Henry and Silas. Rocco picks up a 3-second time penalty. When the action does stop out on track, I will come on board with the penalties, and in fact I'm going to have a look at the penalties now. So Vienmi has got 1 penalty. Silas has got 2 penalties. That's costly for him. Felix has got 3 penalties. Deneen has got a penalty. Glock has got 3 penalties, including 2 picked up on the same lap. Busman's got 3 penalties. Bass has got 2 penalties and a stuff goal, which I think he served. 4 penalties for Rocco. Mad has got 3 penalties. Little Brookie has got 3 penalties. Bullboy has got 1 warning, and that is the rundown of the penalties for everyone. In the meantime, Silas has now picked up a 3-second time penalty. As soon as I said that, he's picked up a 3-second time penalty, and there was a new fastest lap the rest there. Lap time around, and that was Bass with a 15.2. Currently, at this stage, more than 1.3 seconds ahead of the next personal best out on track. So going very well for Bass out on track. And of course, fastest lap point in operation, so Bass will be getting that extra point. Will close him down in the standings for sure. As the enemy might be just starting to save up his EOS a little bit here. He is 50% currently the tyres for him. The enemy leading 3.4 seconds. Silas in second. We're on board with Silas at the moment. See if we can try and close down on this leader, the enemy, who's just dominated from the get-go really in this race. The enemy leading. Silas in second. Gonna go on board with the comment section, see what you guys are saying in the comments. Let's have a look. What happened to Wizards? Asked Storm. I think he lost control of the back end through the S section, is what I caught on board with. Bossman now coming into the pits. Wizards saying, yeah, Wizards exactly saying at the same time pretty much. He lost the rear end coming through, and unfortunately for him, as I say, it was caught on stream. I don't think that's something he wants to be watching back either. But everything's really calm now out on track. Bossman is going to be coming out behind Bullboy to rest of a guess for Bossman. Really difficult second half of the season, I think he's having, Bossman, in 11th. We've got all the 11s really. We've got 11 laps to go. VNME 3.7 seconds. That gap just fluctuating, as I say. VNME, Silas with 11 laps to go out in front, and everyone in fact got 11 laps to go. Unless you're Mr. Myers AI and you're already at the race and you're already probably pissed off at what happened with your connection. But anyways, we'll see what unfolds here. But we're closing on the back end a little Brookie now. 6/10 per second. That gap will get closer. Ultra Softs against Supers. I know who my money would be on in this scenario. Definitely be on Bullboy at this stage. Fresher tyres. We'll close in on Little Brookie. Little Brookie overperforming himself, I think, tonight with his qualifying session that he had. And looking very good indeed so far out on track, it seems. As I say, hopefully everyone enjoying the current action that is unfolding out on track. Apparently Jack has deleted F1 2018, which I've just been informed by someone. I really hope that's not the case, because obviously he is an avid part of F2 and I really want to see him back for next week. Little Brookie, just another bad race I think for Mr. Meyer. Little Brookie, Bullboy. Bullboy will have to try and go around the outside here on Little Brookie. Very late on the brakes. Bullboy seeks around the outside, just keeps it within the track limits and just gets the move done as well. So Bullboy now up to 9th place, ahead of Little Brookie. Nice move. Bossman's on the back of this as well. Trying to get a double toe. I'm down into turn 4. Not quite. Oh, Bossman launching from a mile back on Little Brookie. He didn't see that one coming at all. Little Brookie tries to have another go at him. Oh my goodness me, that was a Danny Rick and a half on Bossman. Using him a bit as a breaking point. But Little Brookie now down to 11th. Picking up the wooden spoon, the proverbial wooden spoon at the minute. Down in 11th place. My ear is getting very sore and I'm going to have to take my headset off for just a slight second. I do apologise. And there we are, we're back. Sorry about that, very sore ear now starting to unfold with my headset. But Bass right on the back of Glock, 5th and 6th. Bass, one over aggressive driver in behind Glock. Really doesn't want to see him behind him. Bossman has got past Ballboy, by the way, waltzing past him down the straight. For 9th place, Ballboy now back down to 10th after succeeding in that move, of course, through turn 3 last time around. Bossman now up to 9th place, so he's got 2 moves done within a lap there, I think, Bossman, so well done to him. Bass on the back end of Glock. Red bar being picked up by Glock on my end. Hopefully that's not my connection at all. Bass trying to get him. I'm board with TV pod at the minute. I do like to provide some nice camera angles here. The guys are out on track. Well, it's the enemy who leads. 3.2 seconds. That gap has just slightly closed in a little bit. It's 4/10 really that is closed in, Silas. Not enough to try and get the enemy at this stage in this race. Oh, dear me. Bass on the back end of Glock. Deneen looking very vulnerable here. Could see both of them past him. Not quite. Deneen going past. And hopefully we're not having any connection issues on this end, because it definitely seems to me as if we're getting something. Bossman and Mad side by side down the straight. Three-way battle down the straight, actually. Ballboy could get a double toe. He's on the back of Bossman, trying to get him now. We see Deneen and Glock going at it around the outside into the end of Sector 1 now into Sector 2. Glock hanging around the outside, Deneen on the inside. No boxing manoeuvres, hopefully this time by Deneen. Glock now down the inside line, will have the car. Deneen might have to back off this position. Just over races the curb slightly, forces him out wide. Glock does that, I think, the best thing, and to just let Deneen through. There's going to be contact if they're not careful. Glock trying to move, that's definitely not there at all. You've got to be keeping it clean if you want to actually be making yourselves, and not just let Bass through on both of them. Bass has just been left through on both of them. That silly mistake, really, I think, and that silly move that has been done there by Glock, I think, has just let Bass through into 2 positions, which he might have been gaining anyways. But really, it's just on the edge stuff between Glock and Deneen. I know you guys have a rivalry, but come on, you've got to respect each other. It's against the rules to not respect each other. Put it that way. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you want to drive over aggressively, go and find open lobbies. But if you don't want to drive over aggressively, and you actually want to commit to this league, then do the decent thing and learn. Anyways, back on with the action. Bass, Glock and Deneen. And I am just saying, by the way, this opinion, because I want to see every driver improve as much as possible. And I am the owner of this. I will be the sole owner of this league going forward. That has been that will be ratified in the next couple of days. But with me being sole owner, it means there's more free reign over the driving and the driving standards that we will be implementing, of course. And anyone that I think doesn't fit the bill probably will end up being out of here. So you guys have been warned 3 weeks in advance before the new game. So trust me, I'm going to be hardline and I'm going to be standing up for my vision for this league. At 30 out of 36, we've got 6 more laps to go, well 7 including this one. On that 30 out of 36, and the enemy leads 3.6 seconds. Again, that gap has just extended out. Silas is 2nd, Felix in 3rd, with Bass in 4th, Glock in 5th at this stage. Looking good at the minute. Dear me. I do apologise. I'm here for you guys. I really am here for you guys. And obviously there is a driver feedback service, so if you have seen from anything of this race that you do want to put in there, or anything about the season in general, do put your stuff in there, because it is the best possible thing to do. We want to be allowing the drivers to have the best possible time in this league. We can only do that if we get feedback. We can only do that if we get feedback from everyone that has signed up to this league, because every response and every bit of feedback will be looked at individually. And I've got your responses so far to those of you who have put in your feedback, which I really do appreciate. we want to be open, we want to be honest, we want to be ensuring that the best possible action can unfold out on track. It's easily done, Wizards, especially in that section of the track. Chin up, bring it in the next race. That is fine words there from Unseen. And I've got to echo that, I think. Obviously not his race today for Wizards. Come back stronger next week, come back fighting, come back to prove a point. And I think that'll be the best possible outcome for you. Mads, by the way, has come into the pits to, I think, put in a set of Hypersofts. It is a set of Hypers for Mads. He's going to be going for fastest lap. The enemy is reaching the stadium section, so there's going to be miles out in front of him. Nobody going to be lapped apart from Mr. Myers AI here at this stage. As with 5 more laps to go, the enemy leading 3.8 seconds. Silas, those tyres just blistering, I think, on the rear, especially in that McLaren. And just leaves a little bit of time through the stadium section to Felix, actually. 6.5 seconds the gap at this stage. The enemy hanging on in there. Danino EOS and is running out of fuel. Let's have a look at him. He has got about 28% ERS and running down the straight, that's not really ideal. And there's not really any braking points coming through, apart from the middle sector, I would say. There's not many braking points which really gains you enough ERS to actually try and commit. He's got to save up enough ERS to try and get to the end, and that's why I think he is losing time to Glock, given that he's on 3-lap all the tyres as well, compared to Glock ahead of him. 1.9 seconds currently the gap at this stage, and I wouldn't be surprised if the purple if the fastest lap screens do light up once again, with Mads obviously on a lap. He's 21 seconds off little Brookie. He could have tried to pursue to the end and actually score a point, but he wants to try and make it with the fastest lap point, of course. The enemy hanging on. I'm hanging on as well because my voice is going. It's not really ideal to be commentating 50% of the time, or 50% with a poorly voice. So I'm doing my best here, so give me a bit of leeway if you do watch this back. If I do watch myself back, I will definitely give myself a bit of leeway as well. But 4 laps to go. Put in your driver of the day, who you think should be awarded the driver of the award so far. I certainly think it is the enemy. Because of his driving. There we go. 5 positions gained for Silas, 4 positions gained for the enemy, 3 positions gained for Felix. And I think I did say the enemy would win and Felix would be 3rd. Pretty sure. So I'm very happy with my prediction so far. I'm very happy with my prediction. You could see that both Saubers starting to go at it actually. 4 laps to go. Rocco and Deneen looking good at the minute, and the Saubers now I think are going to start to squabble, and they're going to start to squabble hard, and it's going to be clean and competitive racing. That's what we like to see in GHR. Oh, and in fact Rocco loses the back end. Rocco losing the back end, a very uncharacteristic mistake. We saw that with Wizards early on in the race. Pretty much a picture perfect carbon copy there of what Wizards done. Rocco keeping it out of the barrier though and still continuing on with this race, which I think is good for everyone, of course, because he's going to be finishing currently in 7th place with 3 laps to go. The enemy 3.3 seconds out in front. Little Brookie picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, which will be mainly the track extension that goes on. There is a bit of news that's just came through, by the way, on my iPad, by saying that the Xbox Game Pass, if you are an Xbox gamer, and why would you not be, because you're on F4 of course, why on earth would you thingy? Because honestly, some of the racing that we've seen here is pretty good indeed, and the enemy 3.3 seconds out in front, Silas in 2nd. I don't know what I was on about there. I've just totally lost my train of thought. I was on about something and then I went on about something else. Driver of the day of the enemy, driver of the day of the enemy. Plenty of votes in for the enemy. And by the way, I will be, as part of next season, what we're going to be trying to do is part of the YouTube comments, is put in a poll for driver of the day. This will be available up to 24 hours after the race has actually happened. And the Driver of the Day award is something new that's going to be introduced to GHR, as well as plenty of other awards that are going to be issued out. I'm going to mention about that soon, because Rocco has just got past Deneen. Deneen losing the back end there. Still some over-aggressive driving, yeah. Still some over-aggressive driving, but he has learned his lesson and he has learned his trade. Both Sabres now running side by side down the straight. Rocco and Deneen. Who's going to go for the move first? Rocco hangs it around the outside. That was a disappointment. I thought we were going to get some great racing there. Bass has gone past Felix. Bass has now gone past Felix down the inside. Great move through the left and right of turn 4 and 5. Bass is up to third place. He won't be getting any closer to that. The enemy is looking quite shaky now out in front. 2.6 seconds. Silas in seconds. We've reached the crescendo here in GHR F2. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed the action out on track. As I was saying about the fastest lap, have we just seen Felix get a puncture? He has! He's got a rear right puncture! Felix has got a rear right puncture and he has to battle it! And he loses the car control. And Glock is off as well! What on earth? Has Glock got a puncture as well? No, he hasn't. He's just made a mistake. What on earth is going on in this race? Drama here in Mexico very late on. Felix with a puncture. I thought Glock had suffered the same fate there. Has gained the position though from Felix, and Felix is going to have to trudge back with no front wing. 5 seconds stop go. Don't blame him for cutting the corner there. And he's spun at the final corner. He's got to be careful here that he doesn't hit anyone off. We've got side-by-side action though in the meantime. Rocco and Glock running down the straight into turn 1. Is Rocco going to have the inside line? Brakes later than Glock, and that is a fantastic move. Down the inside on Rocco, on Glock there. And Rocco gets the move done. He gets ahead of Glock, who's now struggling with those tyres. Rocco, what a bit of tyre temperature can do to your tyres. That's all I'm going to say, really. Glock trying to launch it on Rocco. Not going to try from there, though. As we see, the enemy, he is holding back here. And I think Silas, the enemy, I don't think is aware of this. Silas is right on the back end. Silas is right on the back end. This is also drama here in Mexico. The enemy is hanging on for grim life now all of a sudden. Because Silas right on the back end, now through the final corner, on the final lap, the enemy is just going to hang on, I think. The enemy is going to hang on. Silas is going to come across the line in second and spins across the line. Bass is going to be coming across the line in third. It's a good performance from him in the end. Good recovery drive from him. 7 seconds off. Rocco is going to be coming across the line in fourth, getting the better of Glock down into turn 1 on the final lap of the race. That was Rocco up for fourth. Glock in fifth. A little Brookie has retired. Not sure whether that is. Is that through the S section? I think it is. I think it's on the exit of the S section. Rocco Deneen has jumped ahead of everyone. Bossman, Bullboy. There is little Brookie strutting on the wall. Horrible stuff. And Felix is going to complete as well. And 7 thousandths between Bullboy and Glock at the end of this race. Unbelievable. The enemy then wins, Silas second and Bass in third at the end of this race. Dear me. Great racing, out on track. Probably, I think from an F2 perspective, one of the cleanest races of the season. If anybody disagrees with me with that, then I've tried to provide you with the clean and competitive racing that everyone should be viewing at in GHR. And looking at that, very good stuff between the enemy at the end to win here in Mexico City at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. So the enemy wins again, and that means he takes the championship lead from Deneen. And I will just pick up on the point score. The enemy going to be 9 points ahead, I think, here actually. The enemy, I think, is going to be 9 points ahead, so we'll just confirm that. The enemy wins then in Mexico. These are, of course, post-race, these are pre-investigation results. So the enemy winning here, Silas second, Bass in third, Deneen in fourth, Rocco in fifth, then it's Bullboy, Glock, Bossman, Mads, and then Felix for the top 10, Little Brookie, Jack Meyer, Wizard, and JB rounding off the lineup there. Let's unmute everyone then in the party and see what has gone on out on track as we begin to unmute everyone now. Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh dear. Everything else was fine, says Glock. If you've got any specific concerns, Glock, just put it in the driver feedback survey or come to me directly about that. Because I'm here to listen. I'm very here to listen. But, as Ballboy's going to prepare us up for Monaco short qualifying 3-lap race here, I'm going to get out on track and you're going to see some awful driving from me. Time for the interviews, and the first person that is here for the interviews in the party is... Who finished ahead? I think it was... let's go with Rocco first. Let's go with Rocco.
It was Deneen, but...
I know it was Deneen, but you finished ahead of him out on track, so...
Yeah.
So, talk us through how it went there in qualifying and in the race.
Qualifying was surprisingly good. I mean, I probably shouldn't have qualified on hypers, but I did anyway. But pole position, I guess my first of the season and first for ages. I don't think I've ever got one in FRO actually, so I'll take it. Or GHR, that's the one.
In GHR, definitely not FOL. Goodness me, I don't know who they are. Goodness me. And then in the race, we saw you battling. You were in the lead at one point, I think, if I recall. I'm not sure if you were, but could be totally making that up.
I was in like the lead battle with Bass. And Bass was being a bit.
Any aggressive driving? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Any aggressive driving?
On the first lap, I think Deneen caught it. If I don't open my steering, then I'm literally out the race. My front right suspension's just crumpling in because he torpedoed it into like the slow speed corner. I don't know where it is, but yeah. But anyway, other than that, it was all right. I think me and Glock had a decent battle at one point.
Yeah. Somebody else is going to have to... Ballboy, can you do the interviews? Oh, God. If you see her. Nice. I hope he is. Better be.
Well, I don't actually know, apart from my own race, what happened to, like, other people.
Just ask them how it went, really. And cause my voice is aching. I'm going to go down for a drink.
Well, who's next? Or have we finished?
Yeah, I reckon we're done. Yeah, I'm gonna be bad round USA. Yeah, bye.
Okay.
No, quite fitting you.
And well, I do believe it's me next. Which is a bit.
Guess I'm just getting scared. I'll interview you. Oh boy, how did the race go from your perspective?
Well, I think the start, always cautious from myself, starting at the back, went for Mr. Myers' super soft strategy. Didn't make up.
It'll be a tough race start with this many cars out on track today. Keep your distance going into turn 1.
Actually happened there. And then yeah, call up with the ultra soft and hyper soft runners. But of course, I lost a lot of time when at the end of my super soft stint. Pitted around about lap 22, 23, went to the ultras, got past Little Brookie, both men got past me, got past Mads, but of course because of all the penalties and everything and catching up once again, I was able to get into P6, beating Glock by 700 or 1,000, and yeah, oh my gosh. After that, yeah, didn't quite get Rocco, but I'm still happy. Thrilled with 6 there. That's basically. Oh my god.
Just don't ask questions.
You've been awarded a time penalty for that last incident.
Nothing has happened. There's no questions.
Hey, if you don't behave yourself from now on, we're going to end up disqualified.
Yeah. yeah, so
You have a lot of wing damage. Box for a new one.
Go from 12 to 6. I think that's a job well done.
The stewards have given you a 3-second time penalty for contact with other cars. That's 3 seconds to be added to our race time.
To
what?
benefit from
yellow flag.
Mistakes.
Race over. The stewards have black flagged you.
And people's strategy errors and whatever happened out on track. And yeah, I managed to get into 6th, which is not really the result that I would have expected. But yeah, I'll definitely take it. This season I seem to be really good at trying to benefit from people's mistakes, so yeah.
Very good, very good.
Going ahead and to USA, how do you think you're going to get on?
USA, I think, because every race this season has pretty much gone the same way, I'm going to qualify really badly and then make up a ton of positions in the race thanks to other people crashing out and whatever. So definitely a top 10 finish is what I'd expect. And yeah, track's not too bad. Quite like the...
Thank you very much for that. Well, boy, who else is up? Who else is in here? Are we done?
Okay, no, okay.
No, I'm just saying, oh no, Deneen's, I think, last up. Deneen, how are you? And how was your race?
The race was good. Extended the hype was probably way further than they should have. I mean, I had a battle with Glock. Well, no, before that I had just been getting past a few people, and then had a battle with Glock where I almost ended my race. I left him the space through 4 corners, and then the one corner where he determined to leave the space, I was pushed off, and then the next corner he dived on me, and I almost, if I didn't go off the track, I would have hit him, and that would have been both our races over. And then it just, from there, I think I managed to get P4 because I only got about 6 seconds of penalty. So I managed to get up to P4 or something like that.
Yeah, obviously a good result there. Obviously, penalties not going to be... penalties, of course, might be... what's the word I'm looking for? Removed.
Common.
They might be removed. Some penalties might be removed, so the results are not confirmed in any stretch of the imagination. Of course, any people that just decide to send in footage can do. We will, of course, investigate that to the best of our ability. Going forward then into America, how do you think you're going to get on?
Well, I'm just going to be going for the win because of the championship. I think I'm down 10 points, so yeah, I'll just be going for the win. There's no other thing about it.
That's good to hear. Thank you very much for the interview, and I think we are now done, unless Storm wants an interview. Storm's not even here, so there we go. He just blames me all the time. I'm sick of arguing. You commentated on what he did. I'll be back for the new game. Do you know what? I'm actually sick of both of yous actually trying to blame each other. Enough of the blame game. Actually, own up for what you've done. Actually, get your arses in gear and try something different. I'm not having to go at both of yous. Yous have got both great drivers, but come on, you have got to grow up and got to realise your mistakes. If you cannot realise your mistakes and you do not drive in the best possible manner, you will be out of this league before you know it. And that is a cold and hard fact. Just thought I'd make everyone aware and make everyone clear the new stance that we are taking on over-aggressive driving. And I'm not sure what has gone on between you both in the past, you and Glock, Deneen, but please, for the love of God, just sort it out. Rant over. Anyways, back to the schedule. So obviously we have got F1 tomorrow. I may not be there because of my voice. I'm certainly going to try and give F4 a go on Saturday, but I think my voice as it is will end up being restrained once again. And then Sunday for GHR GT Sport. I think that's what everything is now building up towards on a Sunday. It's one of those events that everyone gets excited for. Round 2, Kyoto Yamagiwa. I can confirm that the track layout will be the number 2 version, so it will be the clockwise version that we are going to be running, and I think it's about 2 point odd miles in length, the one that we're going to be running. if you see me on GT Sport with the lobby open, then you'll see what thingy. But I've nothing against you or anyone else. Keep up the changes, and hopefully we'll see the fruits of it on F1 2019. I really hope we do as well, because obviously, as I've said in the subject to confirmation, of course, we'll have a discussion after this, that we are going to be having one vision going forward, which all admins will agree on. And I will be looking at appointing external admins who are not currently admins into the league as well. So that is everything from me. Anything that people want to say? Oh, actually, right. Let's be quiet, everyone. Let's be quiet. Get the violins out. Jack Myers about.
Oh no.
What happened, Jack, if you're there? What happened?
Internet, deleted the game.
Internet and deleted the game. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm just seriously frustrated about this happening week in and week out when I put hard working times when I could be doing something else.
I've got one piece of I've got one piece of advice that actually could help him. Move to England.
Or
just get a better internet provider, which I think is what everyone wants to see.
Yeah, I think I would try that, because I think I already have.
But who is your internet provider?
Virgin.
Virgin Media! There you go!
Well, there's your problem. I had both, and get a skybox.
Anyways, I think that this argument could rank on for so long, but it's now time to end the stream. Thank you very much for watching. You're not going to see the next Monaco race, and you're not going to see my bad driving. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, which will be tomorrow for F1, goodbye. Dimmen Hill, Dimmen Hill, Dimmen Hill.